There's an energy source laying there. With China's hot after, and they get control of it, man, we're all going, you think we've been buying stuff at Walmart? You're not going to believe when they get helium-3 back here and crank it up. They'll own the planet.
That's the energy source. What is helium-3 for the audience?
Okay, helium-3, this is a deformity isotope made by the heat of the sun. At about 50 million degrees centigrade, that thing gets a third orbit called helium-3. All right, it's slung through the entire solar system courtesy of the solar wind, which moves almost at the speed of light. Well, here comes helium-3 coming to Earth, and it runs into our Van Allen radiation belts. Then there's 7 layers of atmosphere it's got to deal with, gravity, all that. And helium-3 doesn't really make it to the surface of the Earth, just a tiny trace amount. And what little trace amounts there is already been confiscated, sucked up by no other than the Pentagon nuclear defense system. Now, why would they want that? You'll see that in a minute. So somebody said, well, what's up on the moon? University of Wisconsin grabbed an armful load of moon rocks. We brought back about 1,200 pounds of them, scattered them all across the university to do various research. And for some reason, the University of Wisconsin said, let's look for helium-3 in the moon rocks. So they heated the rocks up. Out came this gas.
Oh.
They cooled the gas down into a liquid, and they got liquefied helium-3, which...
Explain to the audience how valuable that ounce is on an energetic, like for energy.
If you would make pile rods out of it, feed it into conventional reactors, which is, we're talking about your tokamak reactors, your pile rods, your fusion and fission, not what I've been working with is electromagnetic fusion containment. That's an orange. You're over here with a couple of apples. But you feed that helium-3 in these apples, buddy, you're going to have a super apple. Because what will happen, that helium-3 will get in that chamber and burn. And it'll take the efficiency level, which reactors at best, the very best you got, total efficient, like 61%. This thing will drive it into the high 90s. And then when you shut the reactor off, walk in with shirt sleeves, Geiger counter, and the Geiger says, nothing.
Nothing.
No radiation.
That's how safe it is.
Clean thermal fusion and power. That little glass test tube of liquid helium-3, that's enough to run every nuclear reactor on this planet for about 10 years.
All clean energy.
All clean energy. And you'd be looking at a street value of about $2 trillion.
Right. Now, I have heard through the grapevine, that China's on the other side of the moon right now. I believe, in my own opinion, they are harvesting helium-3.
And let me tell you something about this whole story.
Okay.
I'm up to my eyeballs in this thing more than I want to be. First of all, let me tell you how smart China is. When we were working with upper stage cryogenic staging rockets, it took us 45 years to get it figured out. Soviet Union never did. If you ever know, they don't stage if they go up. One big booster.
One big.
China, in 9 months, figured it out by themselves. Took us 45 years, 9 months. That's how smart they are. Now, with that in mind, you got somebody that smart. Where are they in their space program? They're gone. Past tense. They've already left. They've soft landed on the backside of the moon. And then, well, what are they doing back here? This is where I get embarrassed. I went to China one year, talked to a bunch of people, and they were very interested in helium-3. In America, nobody even heard of it. And what they're really interested in, wonder why, I developed a mining process. So I drew it all out on the blackboard, everything.
Oh, no.
And what it is, you soft impact land a device on the moon, about the size of an earth mover. You've seen that little kid thing running around scooping up dirt, changing the landscape. Well, you get one of them on the moon, and it's running around. It's picking up all the loose soil. And there's so much helium-3 up there from the testing of the moon rocks, University of Wisconsin, we know this, that earth mover in about an hour is going to suck up all that it needs. And it's going to throw it into the hopper. It's going to turn the solar power panels to the sun. Pure sunlight out there. No atmosphere.
No atmosphere.
This thing will transfer that into electrical power to transducer. It's going to get so friggin' hot in there, you're not going to believe it. Gas is going to come rolling out of these rocks. They're going to capture it, pipe it over to the side, shadow side of the Earth conveyor. On the sunlight side, it's 250 degrees above zero.
To keep it cool, right?
Fahrenheit.
I got you.
250 degrees above Fahrenheit in the sun. On the shadow side, 200 below zero Fahrenheit. So you pump the gas over there, it turns into an instant liquid. Then you shoot the liquid into a container like a cylinder in a gun, fire that cylinder up to a mothership, load it in, do a slingshot effect, come off the moon. 3 days later, you're home. This canister comes in, parachutes come out, it lands on the land because it can take a bump, not humans on board. So it bumps, you pick it up, and you got 2,000 pounds of pure helium-3, and you'll rule the world.
Brilliant.
And that's what they're doing.